Mrs. McCone, seems the worst is over. She's breathing fine.
You mean the onions worked?
Mm-hmm. Croup had the baby's lungs full of fluid, but the poultices Mrs. McCone applied did the trick. Forced the airways right open.
You seem awfully sure of yourself.
It's because I am.
Let's expose her back. Based on what Reverend Granlund has told me, your assessment seems correct. However, you didn't learn this in any books I gave you.
Well, we don't see many doctors back home at the settlement, but I did have occasion to learn from some very wise and experienced mothers.
We're all grateful for what you did, Opal. Thank you.
I just couldn't let the child go on suffering like she was.
You did the right thing, Opal. I couldn't have prescribed better myself.
Teacher, where's the baby at?
She's inside taking a nap.
We're glad she got better.
Yes, we're all very grateful.
We talked it over. It's time that girl got herself a name. We wrote some out.
Let me see that. Iris, Lily, Rose. Black-eyed Susan.
That last one's a joke. We were thinking on how we found her, so little and pretty on the ground, like a little flower.
Well, these are lovely names. I'll be sure to tell Miss Alice about them.
Here she comes.
Move! What's gotten into them?
They've submitted some names to us for the baby.
I met Dr. McNeil on the road. He told me what happened last night.
I never want to go through anything like that again.
This world is a curious place. On one hand, things are changing all the time. Automobiles, flying machines. Did they know they've completed a paved road coast to coast? The Lincoln Highway. Imagine that. On the other hand, some things never change. Like a mother worrying after her child, contending with emergency upon emergency.
And waiting for them to happen. I keep checking to make sure she's still breathing.
Christy, what if Opal McCone hadn't been here?
The baby would have died. I was so frightened, Miss Alice.
I'm sure you would.
I didn't know what to do. She made this terrible sound when she was breathing. It was like nothing I'd ever heard before.
Christy, you mustn't pretend anymore. It's nice to play house, but there's a real child here, a human being.
But I love her.
Sometimes love isn't enough. As much as we may want life to be otherwise. Despite our best intentions, we find that our efforts have fallen short. And our choices are gone. I visited Sarah's parents in the hope that I might convince them to open their hearts. But they will neither forgive their daughter's mistake nor accept her baby.
But that is just one possibility. Surely a family in the cove will adopt her.
Most of our neighbors are barely getting by. They have too many children as it is.
Miss Alice, no.
And her birthmark, that's an obstacle that some folks will never overlook. The time has come to contact the orphanage in Knoxville.
We cannot send her to someone else.
It's the right thing to do.
I was awake all night worrying about the baby and praying. I kept hoping that Sarah's parents would somehow have a change of heart, or that Sarah would come back. But the hours passed, and no answers came. My heart ached as I began to lose hope. Then the next day, something miraculous happened. An idea came to me like a gift.
Christy. Opal ain't here. She's off picking blackberries.
It ain't her we come to talk to.
Well, if it's about them words between you and Opal, that's twixt the both of you.
It's not about that, Tom. Opal was a big help to me at the mission. I could not have managed the baby without her.
Now, she don't mind. The little gal is all she talks about.
Then you've noticed the change in her, haven't you, Tom?
Oh, I surely do, Fairlight. I never thought I'd see that spark in her eyes again. What's our newborn, you know, passed on. Well, you know.
That spark is something very special. I know that now. It's the love only a real mother can feel.
And that is why we've come to talk. Opal. Good news. Miss Christy's found a family for the baby.
That's good, Miss Christy. Then she'll be leaving us.
Not exactly.
What are you waiting for, Tom? Spit it out.
I said that we'd take her.
But, Tom, we can't.
We already did.
Congratulations, Mrs. McCone.
The mission can help out with practical considerations, food and what have they.
And you can have the clothes my girls have outgrowed.
Oh, Tom. I don't know if I can say what's in my heart.
You don't have to say anything. I was wrong to doubt you, Opal. I hope you can forgive me.
Miss Christy, you weren't doing nothing but what you thought was best. I'd be beholden if you'd stand as her godmother.
I would be honored.
School children have been coming up with some names. I like the sound of Iris McCone, if you do.
We'd best take our seats. I have a shining new soul to baptize.
Daniel,
I've got an awful lot of work to do at my cabin, Miss Henderson.
thee is welcome at this house of worship. I hope they know that.
I know that you and the Reverend Grantland feel that way. I'm not so sure about the rest of the congregation. Besides, I'd hate for anything to get in the way of the McCones' day. Wouldn't you?
As you wish.
Miss Huddleston, it seems to me that you've given up everything to be here. And it hardly seems fair that you should have to keep on giving.
Something happens after you've lived here a while. The blessings become so much greater than the sacrifices. You'll see. I guess this is goodbye. You like your new family? Tom and Opal are nice people. So are your new brothers. I love you so much.
Miss Huddleston, for you.
Thank you.
It was a kind thing you did for Opal.
Here you are, Christy.
Oh, David, that's sweet, but Dr. McNeil already got me one.
Surprised to see you at our service, even if you did watch from the porch.
Well, I was just checking in on my new patient. I'll take that if you don't mind.
Well, working on a Sunday, you must be busy. You probably have more patients to see.
She was my last one.
Really? Well, as long as you're here, we never did finish our sporting competition. One, two,
Miss Alice was right. Some things never change.
three.
So it was with the rivalry between Dr. McNeil and David. There were times they acted more like boys in my classroom than like the men in my life. Eventually, I would understand what that meant.